Well, hello my fellow Cumberland Plateau Overlanders. Today's going to be a little bit different of a video. Today we're going to actually do a video on some Jeep maintenance. I've had the Jeep now for about 3 years, and every now and then I have a problem with it. It decides it doesn't want to come out of gear, or it doesn't want to go into gear. Sometimes I could have the clutch all the way down the floor and it just keeps driving on like it's an automatic. I was watching a video by another YouTuber. His name's I Am Jake, and his Jeep started doing the same thing, so it got me wondering what was going on. Now, my Jeep has done this at different times. Sometimes it's it's off-road, and that's the first time it ever happened to me, is I was actually off-road and I couldn't shift out of first gear, couldn't get into reverse. I got in a situation where I had to go to reverse, and the only way I could get it out of gear was to turn the Jeep completely off and then shift it out of gear, turn the Jeep back on, and then I could keep going. Alright? And just recently it keeps doing that, and you know, first time it happened on that off-camber situation, and so I thought, well, maybe it's just the transmission was in a bind or something. Well, over the course of the last probably year or so, year and a half, it does it whenever it wants to. The other day I was at the grocery store, drove fine, got to the grocery store, got out, went inside, come back out, and when I came back out, it did the same thing. It wouldn't go into gear. I had to turn the Jeep off, put it in reverse, back up, turn the Jeep off, put it in first, and then turn the Jeep back on, and then keep on driving. And it would shift out of gear from there, but it was still a bit hard going from first to second. From second to third and third to fourth it was okay, but first to second or first to reverse, it was a little bit challenge. So after watching his video, I decided, well, that could probably be the problem. He ended up fixing his problem by replacing the slave master cylinder and the clutch slave into the transfer case. So today, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this little tutorial video here. First off, I need to let you know I am not a mechanic. I don't even play one on TV, unless you're watching this on TV. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and so I read my Haynes manual, and that told me what I'm supposed to do. So hopefully I can show you what you're supposed to do and not what you're not supposed to do. Alright? Stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy this video. Okay, so this is the clutch master cylinder and slave assembly. I ended up getting this from Amazon. It was about $115 shipped to my house, and it's going from here to right there. So the master cylinder will go right here. Here's the brake booster. Here is my windshield washer and my radiator reservoir. Right here on the driver's side firewall, there is where the master cylinder is. If you follow that line that comes off the master cylinder, which is that line right there, you follow that line all the way down in there. Down there is where, down back there, you can barely see it coming this way. Back in there is where the slave cylinder is. Alright. Okay, so there is the slave cylinder right there. It bolts in right there, and it runs itself all the way up to over there is where the master cylinder is. Right there. Okay? So that's what we're looking at. Right here is your front drive shaft. Right there is your slave cylinder. Okay, so steps in doing this is going to be to remove the bolt right here, which you can't see. Remove the bolt here, remove the top bolt, which is up over there. Remove the two bolts on the slave cylinder, and then coming inside here, up over there is where this is your clutch pedal. Hold on a second. Alright, so there's your clutch pedal, and you go up. Right there is a pin. You got to pull that cotter pin right there and disconnect it from your clutch pedal, and then according to YouTube you just pull it out and thread it up, and then you put the new one in. It's just assembly is the opposite of disassembly. I decided to go ahead and take out the core support and this core support right here because it's in the way. So that'll be the first step, is take out this core support bar right here, and then I could get access down here to the bolts and into the master cylinder. So first step would then obviously be to take off the core support first. Okay, step one is done. At the front of the engine by the radiator, you just loosen up this bolt. It was a 9/16, and the bolt back here was a 1/2 inch. Just loosen that up, take the core support out. Okay, for some people, this bolt here, you can only access it from inside the cab of your Jeep. Mine's a 94 YJ. I got a 2.5 engine in there. Luckily for me, the bolt is on the outside out here. Unfortunately, however, it's very difficult to get to that. There is a fitting right here that is causing me not to be able to get my ratchet down to get my ratchet down there onto that. So I'm going to have to use a wrench to get that out. Success, I got it off. Now for the bottom bolt, I'm a little bit different than some people. I like to go with the hardest bolt to get to first, and then get to the easy one. That way you don't have it's got to be easier. Number two. Next step is to remove that pin there on the clutch pedal. You just pull that pin out, that cotter pin out, and slide the linkage off of the clutch pedal, and then your master cylinder is disconnected from your clutch. Alright, so I removed the pin and I have disconnected the linkage off of the clutch pedal. Right there is where it goes. That little bar sticking out right there, that's where it goes. Okay, so the next step is we're going to crawl underneath the Jeep and disconnect the slave cylinder and pull the whole thing out as one whole unit. As I was underneath there pulling out that pin, I noticed that the master cylinder on the inside of the firewall by the clutch pedal, it was leaking. It was pretty wet around there. It wasn't dripping or anything, but I did notice it was pretty wet around there. So hopefully this will fix the problem with the transmission. Okay, so I hope you're getting right here. I hope this is the area that you're seeing. You're going to need a 1/2 inch deep socket in order to get that bolt off. Both these bolts, there's one here and one on top. You're going to need a 1/2 inch deep socket to do that, because regular is not going to give you enough space to get in there. Oh, let me get my glove on. So oops, right there. Okay, so you just pull that thing completely out and you're done there. Now the next step is you have to pull that along with that hose down in there all the way out, and you've already got it disconnected down below, so you just thread it back out and you're done there. So here's the old one. Next to the new one. Now, the paper that I got with this, and of course watching the video, said that that strap right there, that plastic strap, do not cut that. Leave that alone. The first time you hit your clutch, it'll break for you and it'll engage, and that's what you need. So do not cut that plastic strap right there. Alrighty? Be back in a minute. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and put the new one back in, and hopefully I did everything right and we're good to go. Here is the new one right here. And we just have to slide that down inside this hole, down to the exhaust pipe down there, and then slide it over there to the transmission, slide it all together, bolt it all up, and we should be good to go. I'm not going to film sliding all that back together. You can figure that out, how to slide that back together, but let's go ahead and get this done really quick, and I will go from there. Now for the moment of truth. See if she starts. First impressions, I've only done one gear and pulled out of the driveway, but already it feels the clutch is a lot tighter than what it was, and it's shifting a lot better than what it did. Well, who'd have thunk? Doors off in the summertime. going for a little test drive. You guys follow along with me for a little bit on the test drive. The clutch, never been so tight. It's felt really good shifting out of gears, shifting in and out of gears. So only time will tell, because it didn't just happen on off-road, like I said, off-camper situations. I could be in a flat parking lot, go in the store 1 minute, come back out the next minute, and it acts up like that. So it could be the clutch is going bad. There is 162,000 plus on this on my Jeep, so it could be the clutch as well. But I figured I'd replace that first and see if that does the trick. But only time will tell on that. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Things that I wish I had to do that. If I had a ratcheting wrench, that probably would have made the nuts for the master cylinder, the top one, it would have made it a little bit easier to get to that one. But other than that, I can't think of anything else that I could have used that would make things better. I mean, obviously air tools make things better all the time, but other than that, I think it went good so far. The Jeep's driving good, so I'll be seeing you guys in the future. Oh yeah, one more thing. I also found a way to add 10 horsepower to my Jeep by going from this to this. Nothing like a little Desert Storm camouflage, desert camouflage. After all, I am a Desert Storm vet, so I need to have some Desert Storm camouflage on my Jeep. Well, that's it for this video. We'll go ahead and see you guys later on down the road.